All right, I'm live. Hey, today we're going to look at your spirit guides. What is a spirit guide? All right, I think that we are all guided by these beings. Some people might call it intuition, but there's someone who's been guiding you through your life and toward your life purpose since you were born, since before you were born. And almost every major spiritual tradition in human history agrees that you are not here by accident. You were called to something. So today in the Spiritual Business Hour with Crystal and Bell, we're going to look at who that is. Who in the world is calling you? And where does this idea of spirit guides come from? And why does that matter for your business? Why does it matter for your six-figure income? We're going to talk about all of that. So this episode is about giving you permission to use your internal guidance and to understand that is that's a legitimate thing. Now, I'm going to take a brief moment and I'm going to see if I'm actually streaming on my pages as I am supposed to. It doesn't look like I am. So I'm going to go over to Facebook and hit that go live button. And I'm going to make sure that I'm live inside. Okay, I'm live. Hey, it worked. It worked inside my spiritual business hour community. And if you want to sign up for that, by the way, I'm going to give you that link because first of all, let me slow down. I'm excited. This is only my third live stream and I'm very excited. So why am I talking about this? Who am I? My name is Crystal Bell, and I'm a spiritual business mentor. I guide women through the process of building their coaching businesses, and I want to help them make sure that those businesses are grounded in their unique experience and that it's aligned with their deepest values. And for people like you and me, that means they have spiritual values, they have a sense of connection to the divine, they want to be aligned. So I help you do that. And I also, and this is also important because we are humans living in this three-dimensional world, I help you establish a lavish, sustainable income. Anybody who disagrees and says that's not important, this isn't the live stream for you, because I think that living your best life on earth means earning the money that you deserve for the work that you are doing. All right. So that's my philosophy. Our topic today is important because we all have spirit guides, and I built this entire business I've been doing this for decades, and I've used spiritual guidance every step of the way. I use spiritual guidance in the form of prayer, meditation, receiving downloads, writing in my journal, and I write a question and then I listen and then I write the answer and I'm present and aware while I'm writing the answer, and I get real wonderful, clear, direct, concise answers. And at the same time, I build my business with solid structures. I have a website, I have funnels, I have an email list, I have a regular set of emails that I produce. My spiritual business hour is a part of the way that I deliver my message to people. So I want to invite you, by the way, to sign up for the spiritual business hour. And you know what would be so helpful? If you are watching me live right now, will you please drop in the comments live? Will you say live? Or if you are watching the replay, please type in the comments replay. That way I know that you've watched, and that is incredibly helpful for me, and it helps me continue to deliver this kind of content to you. So I am putting the link for my spiritual business hour here in the comments. So sign up And when you sign up, you get a cheat sheet. Every single week, I create a cheat sheet that helps you take everything that I've talked about over the course of this week, and you can use that to help you open yourself up to the things that we're talking about. We'll go into that more. Today, I've got a very specific agenda. If you want the cheat sheet, you sign up at the link that I put in the comments for you, okay? By the way, if you're watching right now, I want you to stay till the end. At the end, I'm going to do a short meditation, or a short activation to help you connect to your spirit guides. All right. So today's episode is called Spiritual Traditions, or actually, I think it's called, what's it called? I don't remember. Actually, I'm going to come over here and look at it. It's called, it's called Who is Calling You? Spirit Guides, Purpose, and Traditions. And this is the third episode of the Spiritual Business Hour with Crystal and Bell. So thank you for joining me. And again, let me know that you've stopped by. Drop a message in the comments. So I'm going to start off talking about the Yoruba and Ifa tradition. And look, I'm going to talk about a few different traditions for today's episode, because these are traditions that are really important to me. I have a history with all of these traditions. I've lived in them and worked with them, and have a tremendous respect for them. And some of them I've even messed up with and suffered some consequences. I'm not going to necessarily talk about that today because I want to stay on point. But this energy is serious, and I do know about it firsthand. So if we talk about the Yoruba and Ifa tradition, um, this is a West African spiritual system, and it's really kind of the root of a lot of popular traditions that you know about already. For example, voodoo in the south of the United States, in Louisiana, which is where my family really comes from, voodoo is practiced. And really, it's a natural life force energy religion that is not afraid to go beyond the veil of the three dimensions, man, and to dive deep into the energy that exists in the oceans and the trees and the earth and the air and medicine. All these wonderful, wonderful things that we have now began with the Yoruba tradition. It's like the start of the Orishas. And the Orishas are these gods, if you will, or you can consider them energies that carry a certain vibration. And people who practice Yoruba, they see these Orishas as their personal spirit guides. There's a certain affinity that they have toward one or the other, even though they might have a relationship with, with a number of them. My personal spirit guide, my personal connection came with Shango, and that was quite a ride, but it was the perfect Orisha for me and my personality and who I truly am and how I enjoy life. So we can think about the Orishas as cosmic forces or deities that govern the different aspects of life and work. And, this is not something that that somebody tells you this is what you must do and you blah, blah, blah. These priests and priestesses generally talk to you more in terms of, hey, this is what you're experiencing in your life. This is what is maybe being talked to. This is what the universe is saying to you through this energy, and here's some ways that you can deal with that. And it's really, really fascinating. It's not something. If I'm not mistaken, Santeria is Santeria like the primary. I never know statistics, and I don't want to talk. I don't want to misguide you. I'm just going to say Santeria is practiced a lot in South America, in Central and South America. And it came from the Yoruba Ifa tradition. And the Yoruba Ifa tradition originated in Western Africa. And so it's kind of like this original earth um, religion. And when slaves were taken to the Americas, um, their religion, they were cut off. Obviously, Christianity is in big opposition to this type of religion and these kinds of practices. And at that time, there was zero tolerance. So people had to practice their religion in silence and by hiding. And so they would hide these Yoruba gods behind the priests, or not behind the priests, I'm sorry, behind these kind of angelic or saints. So that, I'd be looking at a picture of the saint, but maybe behind there would be a placard of Shango or one of the other gods that are very important to me in my family and my tradition, my history. So, look, I just wanted to touch on all of these. I'm not going to go into great detail, but that is the Yoruba tradition. I met that tradition when I was 23. My family had a dental office in Los Angeles on Crenshaw Boulevard near Stocker. So if you know Los Angeles, then you know Crenshaw Boulevard. So we were like in Lamert Park in that area. And there was this incredible Jamaican store next door to our office. And the owner of that store was a Yoruban priest. He was wonderful. I just loved him. I loved his family. I loved that store. And I would go in there and I was just this, 13, well, no, when I was going there, I was probably 16, 17, 18. So, my hormones were in bloom and I was really into romance and I was also into magic and I was curious, And you walk in and there was a broom above the door. And I'm like, what's that broom up there for? And it's like, it keeps away the spirits. Nobody evil can cross through there. And he told me all about this magic, and they had all kinds of potions and candles and oils, and he would make up these incredible oils. And I was in love with the store, and I loved the priest. Um, he was he was a strong businessman, a strong leader. He had a bunch of sons and nephews, and they were so respectful of him, and they were respectful of me. There was none of this kind of, there was no bad behavior going on. There was no sexualization of women. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that they didn't have needs or desires. It's just that me as a buxomy young woman coming into that store, I never felt unsafe. I was respected. And the other women I'd see, young girls going in there curious about stuff, and everybody was respected. They also sold those Jamaican meat pies. Oh, it's just the good old days. I remember the good old days, man. Anyway, so over the years, my curiosity grew, and he would talk to me about the orishas, and I remember saying, I really want to have a ceremony and I want to meet my orisha. And so we went through this incredible ceremony. Anyway, it's a little personal. There's a lot of power that is caught up, like power objects that are created during these ceremonies. And a lot of understanding. The understanding of power is so important in the Yoruba tradition. You treat it with respect. It's life or death. These gods don't fuck around. And you don't play with them. So I'm going to stop talking there because I'm only going to just share so much of my story, just out of respect for my own space. And I'm going to talk to you now about Hinduism, which is another incredible tradition. Now, please keep in mind that I'm no expert in any of this. So you take whatever I say with a grain of salt. Feel free to do your own research. And the best way to research is the way I do it, as I think. You go in and you experience it. You go into a temple and you experience it. Now, I was drawn to the Yoruba tradition, but I was also drawn to the Hindu tradition. And I actually spent a lot of time in India, a lot of time. I didn't spend that much time. I spent 3 months in India, which is a lot of time, but it's not a lot of time. It was 3 months, but it was 3 months of a living on an ashram in a small room and doing ritual and meditation and yoga twice a day, every day, and eating a Vedic diet and doing deep, incredible healing, dealing with monkeys, dealing with elephants, dealing with people, dealing with cows, dealing with the Ganga River. I was living, okay? I was living and healing and purging. I had fibroids when I went there. I went to a healer. Um, but that's a different story. I need to do one of these episodes about traveling and healing, and I will do that. If you're interested in traveling and healing, leave a note in the comments and let me know. Let me know what you say. Let me know what you want to know, and I will talk to you about it. But in the meantime, I will talk about my adventures in Bali and India and Cambodia and what it's like to go to healers in those places. And it is powerful, powerful medicine. So Hinduism, let's see, let's talk about maybe Dharma. All right, we know Dharma. A lot of you will know Dharma in terms of Buddhism. Dharma is like your sacred duty. And, you know, this month here in the Spiritual Business Hour, we're looking at your life purpose. So through the month of June, everything I'm talking about is like understanding your life purpose, because your business is a part of your life purpose. And if God has put a calling inside you to have a business, to run a business, to build a business, to be a coach, to be a healer, to teach yoga, to teach meditation, to read tarot cards, learn astrology, if God has put that in you and you want to make money at it, you need to understand what all that means in terms of your purpose. And that's what I'm exploring here during the month of June. So, Dharma is your sacred duty. And that means that there is a path that you have to follow. It's not that Dharma is my duty, therefore I must be perfect. I'm not perfect, therefore I am not doing my Dharma. But that's not how it works. Dharma is your duty, it is your sacred purpose. But all the times you go out and in and out and in, that is a part of the Dharmic path. It's not about being perfect. It's about understanding that you have something that you want to give, that you're being called to give of yourself. And then all the challenges, all the struggles that come up, those are your opportunities to deepen your Dharma, right? So you have a role here to play in the cosmic order. And Hinduism really teaches that. And one of the things that what I really love about Hinduism and about Ifa is how these humans who live in these traditions bring their humanity to these very complex energies, and we call them gods. And Hinduism is such a beautiful religion in its vastness, its philosophy. It's so deep. It's beyond it's beyond it's beyond the atom. It's beyond the God particle. It's beyond what is quantum, what is not. Okay? Hinduism goes there. It's philosophical. It's like Buddhism in so many ways. And I'm going to talk about Buddhism in a minute. But Hinduism understands the great vastness of the cosmos and beyond the cosmos. And then it says, and at the same time, we are humans. And so we need to be able to take these concepts and let humans explore them and understand the human life in terms of these ginormous concepts. And I love Hinduism for that. So Hinduism will talk about like, for example, we'll take the goddess Lakshmi. She's the goddess of money and wealth, but she's also the goddess of beauty, and she's also the goddess of sexuality that comes. And she's also present in marriage and relationships and feelings of the heart, but she's also connected to money, right? So Hinduism takes all of that and brings it into these different gods that show up. And there's so many wonderful ways to arrive at your particular Hindu gods. For example, your birthday, depending on your birthday, you are ruled by a certain planet, and each of the planets is connected to one of the Hindu gods. So, for example, if you are an Aries, you would be ruled by the planet Mars, and Mars, I'm having a brain fart right now. Ooh, Crystalline is having a huge brain fart. Excuse me, but I cannot remember. It's right there on the tip of my tongue. Ooh, this is what you call a senior moment. It will come to me in a moment. Saturn is ruled by Shani Deva. Jupiter is ruled by Guru. Capricorn is oh Lord. Saturn is Capricorn. Oh my gosh, I'm having a moment. Mercury. What? Oh Lord, I am having such a senior moment right now. We're gonna pause right there for a moment and just regroup, because like everything has just left my mind. I must not be getting enough oxygen to my brain. So that's okay. Let's go back though. So when I was in India, I was on an ashram, and there was a Vedic astrologer there. The Indians use Vedic astrology. Westerners use tropical astrology, and both are correct, and both were very true for my life. It's just about perspective. Let's say one would take the sun's perspective, the other takes the moon's perspective, but it's still the same thing. You still come out with the same issues. You can't escape yourself just because you move from one system to another. And so anyway, I had my Vedic astrology chart done, and the astrologer there really shed a lot of light on why I was going through what I was going through. I had tremendous uterine fibroids, and I was traveling the world, going to different healers to learn kind of about what was going on with my uterus, and looking at different ways to try to get rid of those fibroids without having to have surgery, which the doctors were saying. Eventually, by the way, I did have to have surgery, but it's all right. It was good. The healing was worth every moment. Anyway, when I was in India, I was going through a lot of struggles. My mom had died a couple of years before. I had not recovered from that. Actually, she didn't die a couple of years before. She had died before I went to India. She had died 9 months before. So there was no way I was recovered from my mom's death. I was reeling from my mom's death in a panic, dying every month. I had a near-death experience from my mom after my mom's death. Anyway, so in India, there was a lot going on for me. And I had sold my business, and I was broken in the deepest, darkest mental place I could have imagined. And India was the right place to be. India was a great place to be because it was so wild and so beautiful and so deep and so sensual. I was able to go every day and walk along the river and heal with ceremonies every week in the Ganga River, and to take these walks and to meet these people and to practice medicine and Ayurveda, to learn about it and to listen to the guru at the ashram. Yeah. While I was there, the astrologer helped illuminate my Hindu ruler, which would be the god Shani. And going to that temple and doing ceremonies there just opened my eyes, and chanting mantra, like thousands of mantra chantings, and the power it gave me. Anyway, so Hinduism is really powerful. Sorry, you guys, I'm getting emotional. Didn't expect to be getting emotional today. Let's see. Okay, let's move on to shamanism. Shamanism is awesome. So a lot of you all know about shamanism, and we know that as being like earth medicine. And I don't know about you, but when I think about shamanism, I really think about the indigenous tribes that were here, like the first people that were here on in the Americas, the people whose blood was here, like the reason that this country or this continent is the way it is because of those people and what came before. And and it's not to say that those are the only people that are here. First peoples are on every continent. Okay, first peoples are everywhere. They're in Africa. They're also, though, in Australia. They're in Asia. They're in Europe. Okay, so from America to Siberia, all right, it's the idea. Shamanism is the idea that there is a spirit alive in everything, right? Ancestors are alive, and that everything has an intelligence, and all of those intelligences are here for those of us who are willing to listen. And the more we bring in that natural intelligence, the more that we are able to enhance what we're doing in the man-made world. And this is ultimately what it's going to come down to, my friend. Ultimately, what I'm leading up to is to say that while you're building your business, and you're doing the work to build your business, you can also be incorporating meditation, astrology, healing, Reiki, tarot cards. You can incorporate all those things so that you are not building alone. Those of us who have empires like I do, meaning It's not just, oh, I occasionally coach, or this is a hobby for me. Those of us who are building empires, meaning, we're blogging regularly, we're making videos regularly, we have a social media that we're doing, we have a website that we're building, we have classes that we're teaching, we have clients who are paying us thousands of dollars each month. We've got products that are out there. Like, we're really, really running our businesses. It's really, really easy to get kind of caught up in that and to say, well, I am just going to do all these things and that is my business. And actually, that is not your business. Your business is coming through you, through life force energy. And the more we remember that life force energy is what's powering us, that we are life force energy, the more we can see that, yes, starting my day not on Facebook, but starting my day in meditation and chanting and prayer is the right way to run the business. That's where the actual union comes from. That's where the ideas come and the synchronicities come through that. So, in shamanic traditions, you can have a vision quest, and that can be a way to help you receive clarity about your calling. And that is something that, that many traditions do, not just here in the Americas, but everywhere. I think that the Aboriginal people in Australia very often, I think still, and here, they still do vision quests. They still do those tribal practices of young women and young men going through ceremony at different stages in their lives and bringing in that energy so that every stage is acknowledged, and that child, that young adult is connected at the levels where they should be. When you're born, you're connected at one level. You reach the age of 7, you're connected at another. You go through puberty, you're connected at another. You get into adulthood, you're in another. You become pregnant, you're at another level. It's just this kind of really beautiful acknowledgement that we're not just about computers and money and credit cards and clothing and, looking good and selfies and who's president. Like, those things are all good stuff, but they come after we are connected and unified with the truth of who we are. All right, I need to start wrapping it up. It's been 30 minutes. I might talk about the rest of these on another day, and I think that's what I'm going to do. So look, I want to remind you all of a few things. First of all, I want to remind you that there is a cheat sheet for this week talking about your purpose. If you want the cheat sheet, then you should go to the link. Oh, I see Victoria's here. Look, I don't even know that I'm supposed to be I don't even remember that I'm supposed to be checking in on the live streams. All I did was just start talking. And then I did not come up for air. Here it is 30 minutes later. I see that Victoria was with me. Thank you. Thank you, Victoria. And thank you for letting me know that you're interested in my adventures in healing. I will put that at the top of the list. As a matter of fact, I'm going to write that right here. Maybe we'll do that next week for Woo Wednesdays. By the way, y'all, I'm here Monday through Friday at 2:00 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. There's a different theme. There's a different theme every day. By the way, do you see how great I've gotten with technology? Do you see that little QR code right there? If you shine your phone at that QR code, it is going to take you to the sign up so that you can get the certification, so you can get the cheat sheets. All right. And so that you can join my community. And in the community, I live stream in there, but also there's some good blogging. There's some updated stuff for you in there. Anyway, sign up for that. And I'm making a note that next week we're doing spiritual travel. How about we do that? Spiritual travel and traveling to heal. How about we do that? And we'll talk about all those wonderful places, and you all can chime in with your own experiences. I'd love to hear that. All right, now, again, Crystalline is going to wrap this up, and I want to let you know a couple of things before I do. So I told you about the cheat sheets. Oh, and I just want to say, I just want to kind of recap and say that you are not alone in your business. You are not alone in your life, and you are not a physical body. You are energy, you are light, and the physical is here for you to enjoy and to play with, okay? Using your tarot cards, using your intuition, using astrology, these are all wonderful opportunities for you to get in touch with those things that are unseen. Okay. Woo Wednesday, we are dealing with the unseen world, which is where your power is, right? When we think about Nelson Mandela being imprisoned, against everything that he stood for. He was imprisoned for that. The thing that he held on to was the unseen world, that power from within, coming into that power, coming into grace, and staying strong by his connection to his inner self. And this is true for a lot of our great leaders, whether it's, prison is in the mind, and when it's in the body, that's an expression for us to live through. Some of us are imprisoned by disease. Some of us are imprisoned, like literally incarcerated. Some of us feel like we're imprisoned by our circumstances. All of it, though, is outside the true self. The true self is the light within, and that is not capable of being shackled or imprisoned. All right, so I told you that if you stay with me until the end, I'm going to give you a 5-minute kind of guided activation to connect to your spirit guides. And I'm going to do this by, I'm going to call on a guide to come in for us. I'm going to, actually, I think what I'm going to do is, oops, there's a lot of noise coming out of my phone. Sorry, guys. All right. I'm going to take a card from, what are we going to do? We are not going to do what I said I was going to do. I'm not going to do that because that's going to confuse me. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to take a tarot card, and I'm going to see what direction this tarot card is going to take us for the meditation. So let's have you take some slow, deep breaths. Now, if you are out and about and you don't want to take some deep breaths and close your eyes, that's okay. I want you just to listen to the sound of my voice. And I want just to bring your awareness to your heart space. And the word I want you to breathe into your heart space is trust. I trust this moment. I trust myself. And I open my heart and my mind to all those in service of my highest good. I call upon my highest self, my divine monad, the divine one aspect of me that comes directly from God, that beautiful golden light. I am that I am. And as I bring in this energy of golden light, I call upon the angelic realm, bringing in our personal angelic guides. And we say thank you. I call upon the Devic realm, bringing in our Devic guides. I thank you. I call upon the elemental realm, bringing in our elemental guides. And I take a deep breath. And I just relax my mind. We relax our minds. And we allow the goodness of the universe to flow. And I ask our beloved spirit guides to bless us with clarity of communication, clarity of purpose, and clarity of vision, clarity of path. Guide us on our path as we fulfill our purpose. And I bring that light into my whole body, allowing me from head to toe to experience the highest vibration of my cellular activity, just immense cellular turnover, metabolism, detoxification. Don't need all that. Let's have a light flush right now, letting go of all those limiting beliefs, those old stuck mindsets, setting our bodies free, setting our minds free, opening up the channels to our heart so that we are beautiful magnets for goodness and light and prosperity and love. I receive that. I receive that. I say yes to it. And you can say yes to it too. Did I take a tarot card? I did not. We're going to shuffle and I'm just going to end on this tarot card. I just got caught up in the moment. You can't even believe what I'm seeing right now. I know I couldn't show it to you because the moment I turn it toward what I'm looking at, it would just go all foggy. It doesn't make any sense. But I'm just going to take us a tarot and then we're going to wrap it up for the day. And I'm drawing from the Shadowscapes Tarot. And I've pulled the 9 of Wands, which represents our spirit guides. The 9 of Wands represents a spirit guide order that is protective, watchful, and the message is that you are protected. We are protected. Our hearts are protected. The more we say yes to life, the more we say yes to our purpose, the more we say yes to prosperity and abundance and love and peace and joy and passion, the more we say yes to estrogen, the more it comes into our life, the more romance that flows, the more connection that flows. So say yes, open your heart, open your mind, know that you are protected, and know that you too are a protector. If you're watching this video, you are probably one of those protective warriors. You're probably a protective spirit. Embrace that and understand that just because you're a protector does not mean you're not protected, okay? You are protected too. So go do your job. And I'm going to do mine. I will be back here tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Tomorrow, we're going to be building, okay, because Thursdays is about building your empire. So we're going to actually be talking about how to build an aspect of your business. We do that every Thursday. Do I remember what I'm going to be talking about? I do not, but I will post it, okay? I will create a live stream. I will invite you to it, and I hope you join me. All right, friend, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. All right, bye for now. Bye, friend. And remember, check in with me, leave a little comment, live, replay. Thank you. Bye, friend.